Hi guys, welcome back to RC Restomod. Today we're going to do some special things. First thing, I need to thank you guys. I've got 100 subscribers now. I appreciate the heck out of that. It's vindication that I'm doing something a little bit right. Always open to recommendations or constructive criticism. We'll do our best to, I want to make this channel as good as possible to let it continue to grow and get out the word about RC cars because I love them. Anyway, I also had a big birthday. And my birthday came while I was out of town in Ohio for my son's wedding. I'm going to try to insert a picture right here of my son and his lovely bride. And anyway, that's what my son and his bride look like. Very proud of them, very happy for the two of them. I'm really hoping to, I'm excited about Taylor and Justin being a big part of our family forever and ever. Anyway, one other thing that happened was my dear sweet wife got me a birthday present that I had been kind of hoping for. The old block of wood, straight hex tools. We're getting a little long in the tooth. A couple of them, the 1.5 millimeter, had gotten to where it didn't work all that great. So she hooked me up with a set of Pro-Techs. Looked at Pro-Tech and MIP, and I know MIP is supposed to be the very best ones there are. But come on, MIP, your handles look like, oh gosh, 1970s TG&Y cheap screwdrivers. You got to do better than that orange plastic thing. They look terrible. Where these are like really cool. And the reviews on them are really good, and Pro-Tech's supposed to be pretty awesome. So anyway, there's the 1.5. Oh, and she also got me these neat little collars that go on that they've got the size on them, but they've also got a different color for each one. So if they're just laying there and I can't see either number, I can grab them by color. I'm kind of excited about that. I think these are awesome. 1.5, 2.0 is blue. 2.5 is green. And then we got a red 3.0. I had wondered what to do with the old ones, but I think for right now, I'm just going to put them in the box that the new ones came in. Anyway, we'll set those off to one side. And guys, I'd had a plan to do a giveaway when I got to 100 subscribers. And I went ahead and ordered the thing I was going to give away and had it all ready to go because my subscriber number was like 92 when I placed the order. It was up to like 95 when it came in, and when I left for the trip, I was like at 95, and I thought, man, another couple of weeks will be good to go. Well, while I was gone, y'all got me up to 105. So anyway, details and about the giveaway and how to get entered and a preview of what you win will all be at the end of the video. And I'd appreciate if you didn't just fast forward to the end, but actually watch the dang thing. So anyway, the subject for today's video: what happened to my prop? I purchased a prop for this. Where the hell did it go? Where'd Mocha? You did.
Oh, she got the six.
She got it dirty. You stole my birthday cake and my Santa hat all in the same day. Okay, I bought a prop for this part of the video, but unfortunately my wife's dog, not my dog, not today. My wife's dog came and stole my prop, so I had to go get it back from her. Anyway, what we're going to talk about today is, this is our Christmas RC guide. I was in a store with my wife, not a hobby store, just a regular store. And I was kind of making fun of some of the RC cars that they had on the shelf there and pointing out what a bad deal some of them were. And she said, well, before I met you, I wouldn't have known that. And I thought, there's probably a lot of parents out there that are going to be getting their kids RC cars for Christmas, and they're going to be getting them bad ones. So I thought we could do a little gift guide. Now, most of you that watch this channel are probably very astute, probably way more so than myself, on RC cars and what makes them good and what makes them bad. But we're talking about for a kid who's never had one before. And what I would like for you to do is go ahead and watch through, see what I say, and if you've got suggestions or disagreements with what I said, let's load up those comments with good advice for parents who are looking to surprise their kids this Christmas and get them something that's fun to play with and maybe a lifelong addiction that'll cause them financial hardships and all kinds of stuff like most of us have now. Anyway, let's get on with the show. All right, parents. This is a place where a bunch of RCs are going to be sold for Christmas this year. This is Walmart. And they have some, the cheapest one I saw, these little Adventure Force Off-Road, $6.44. We may have to get one of these just to see how bad it is. I'm throwing it in the cart. I like the blue and silver better. But there's a little boat in the for the bathtub. And these would probably be fun for a very young child. Once they get to be to a certain age, though, they're going to get bored with these pretty quick because they're pretty slow. And the other problem you're going to have with them is that one thing you really need to understand with these is they are disposable toys. They're not built very well. I mean, that is not well built. There's no fasteners. There are no parts for these. So once it's broken, it's trash. There's nothing you can do with them when they're broken. So throw them in the trash and move on. If you're okay with that, then the next thing you really need to consider to make them fun, you want to make sure it's got an insignia like this that shows that it's a full function remote that'll go in all different directions, and you want to make sure it's got the 2.4 gigahertz and says how many cars can race. Some of the older ones had problems with them interfering with one another, and you may still have it. It says 6 vehicles. They may or may not work together. So if you've got multiple kids, like if you were going to buy these two for a pair of brothers, get them home, take them out, put the batteries in them when the kids are in bed one night, and make sure they'll work together, because that would be terrible on Christmas Day for them to get up and find out that they can't use their cars at the same time. Avoid weird controllers like these. They don't work well, and that's just frustrations, particularly for a young kid. Avoid weird controllers. The cheaper ones are going to have the most of the time are going to have a controller like this with a left-right stick and a forward-reverse stick. And that's a thing that's kind of gone away with hobby grade RC stuff. And I'd strongly recommend, I mean, if you're going to spend $50, go ahead and put a few more bucks with it and get them something hobby grade. We'll talk about those later. You can see down here, the motor is mounted to the axle, so it's going to be heavy. It's not going to handle well, and it's going to be slow. And that's just the way the new Bright stuff is. They're designed to sell. That one, you're up to $70 for that thing, and it is not worth it. It's a poorly built, disposable toy with a bad remote. That looks like the worst knockoff. The controller looks like the worst knockoff PlayStation 1 controller you ever saw. Anyway, and I'll tell you from searching thrift shops looking for RC cars, the strange ones like the Tumblebee and the weird Barbie cars, bumper cars, any of these super cute weird ones, those are the ones you find in thrift stores. And the reason you still find them in thrift stores is because the kids didn't even play with them long enough to break them properly. So the thrill of something like that goes away in a hurry. So if you're comfortable with it being disposable and going through a big battery budget on Christmas Day, then that's fine. Go ahead and get them like a $20 one. But you and the child need to understand that it's a short-term toy that they're going to play with until it breaks, and then it'll be thrown away because they're not even fun to play with. The wheels are floppy, so you can't even play with them static. And this is brittle white plastic. There's your suspension travel on this one. So if you get, you can see how sloppy that is. If you get outside of the house, this thing's going to be a disaster. Like this one looks off-roady as heck. It's $25, but the wheels are floppy. Look how small that piece is right there. And these wheels are not protected by fenders. As soon as they bump, they run this thing full speed into a tree or the back wheel of your car or whatever. That's gonna snap off and it's done. It just became a $25 piece of trash now. So if you're restricted by budget to go with the Walmart car, avoid anything that has the wheels sticking out. The fenders will protect the suspension. Make sure it's full function and just be prepared that it's going to break, and when it breaks, it becomes trash. Anyway, that's my assessment of the Walmart situation. Okay guys, here we are at Tractor Supply. $50 for that little thing, 1/28 scale. Oh look, hobby style RC body, which means they ripped off some of the armor trucks when they designed the thing. But $50, and you can get a protection plan for $8. If you buy this piece of crap, I do recommend getting it. I don't see a price on the Bronco, but it's basically the same junk that Walmart carries. If you look, the motor's attached to the axle, so you don't have any gear reduction. It's going to be a direct drive. Once again, the wheels are floppy, and like we already talked about, you don't want wheels that hang out because they're going to break off. Because I guarantee if we look in here, yeah, right there, look how tiny that is. If that takes any kind of hit, that's going to break, and that'll be the end of Christmas fun. This one's supposed to be a drifter. It's going to slide around and be hard to drive straight because of these stupid rollers on the wheels. Avoid the gimmicky ones. These are the ones that don't even get played with enough to get broken, and they're crap. Down here they've got these giant ones with styrofoam wheels for $100. It is huge.
and they do look cool, but guys, ladies and gentlemen, the quality is just not. Actually, that controller feels much better than most of the other cheap ones. But at $100, you're spending real money now, and you've got something that's going to be horribly slow, difficult to store, and not much fun when it breaks, because even as big as it is, you're going to see some parts that aren't very substantial in the front end, and that's going to be some stuff that's not going to hold up very well. But the absolute worst one they've got is this big Bronco. It's supposed to have a 2-speed transmission. It's got an extra long wheelbase. Looks like hard wheels. You can't really see it, but the price, $129. And here in just a second, I'll show you why that is such a bad deal. This one's $80. And once again, we've got floppy wheels that are exposed. Tires are super hard. If it has any power at all, it's just going to be all over the place. And once again, you're spending real money by the time you get one of these, so I would avoid that like the plague.
All right, I'm not going to be negative Nelly anymore. It's time for me to actually make a recommendation. If you go on Temu or some of the Chinese websites, there are some good cars there, but it's hard to know which ones are which until you get them in your hands. And once again, by and large, they're disposable. Unless you've got a lot of experience and a whole bunch of spare parts you've piled up over the years that you can adapt to them like you can with a crawler. But more than likely, if you break an A-arm on a cool monster truck or something like that, you're done. This one I've managed not to break, but I'm also pretty careful where I run it so that I won't break it, because I know if I break that little thin A-arm, she's done, and the odds of being able to come up with a new one are not very good. Probably the best way to get another one would be to get a parts car. So that's what you're up against, and that's not much fun for a little kid around Christmas time. What we really want is for a kid to have a very positive experience with RCs. I recommend anything Latrax. The price is not bad. They have 3 models. This is the pre-runner. They've also got a Rally that looks like this, and the Teton, not sure how you pronounce it, but it looks like this. The Teton actually has bigger wheels and tires than the other two do. I think the Rally uses the same as the pre-runner. The chassis is the same for all 3 of them. And I'll go ahead and peel the clips off, and that's another thing. It's like a baby version of a Slash. The body's held on with 4 clips, just like, oh, and that one's dirty. I need to clean that up. But your motor is buried. Your motor's right there. If your child burns up the motor, it's $10. You can get a new one online for $10. The only part that's very expensive at all is the ESC is a bit pricey. I burnt one of those up. I replaced it with a Hobby Wing model in my my red version of this car. But it's got a receiver. It's got all the parts that the big cars do, just slightly smaller. Let's see, we'll get that to turn. We showed some of those rather sizable cars at Walmart and how flimsy the steering components were. This is actually every bit as big and thick as what they're putting on 10th scale things on a 1/18 scale. These are very tough, They're fun. They're fast enough to be fun. They have real shocks. I mean, watch how that lands. That didn't chassis slap. The suspension ate up that drop. And it'll do it over and over and over again. If you break one of these A-arms, $4. And I think it gets you 4 of them. The shocks are very cheap to replace. And everything on it, you need a Phillips screwdriver. It's like the only tool you need. A Phillips screwdriver and a hex driver to take the wheels off. And you can completely disassemble this car. All the parts are available. All the parts are cheap. And you can keep it running. So if he gets this for Christmas, first off, it's gonna go longer than a Walmart car before it breaks the first time. And after it does break, it can easily be fixed. And you can keep it running for years and years and years until anyway, if your child's interest in RC cars holds, then after he or she has learned some things about the car, then you step up to a Bandit or a Slash, or you get one of the Arma. Arma Furies, I think, are quite reasonably priced. There's a lot of directions you could go, and there's on-road, off-road, drifting. There's all sorts of things, but this car it's got a better controller. It's better in every way than, except price. Price is the one thing where this falls down a little bit, but it's a much superior product, and anything Latrax is my recommendation for a Christmas gift for your child if you can afford it at all. That would be, and there's some intrinsic value in these after, if coming up on next Christmas your child has played with it 3 times and says, you know what, I just didn't enjoy RC cars, you can put it up and probably get half your money back like that. Somebody will snatch it up, because these things hold their value because people that know RC cars know you can fix them and keep them running quite easily. And anyway, they're good little cars at a good little price. I know a lot of people don't care for Traxxas, but the fact of the matter is, if you have a hobby town or any other kind of hobby shop that carries any RC cars, they will have the ability to get you Latrax parts. They're readily available from a jillion places online, and they're all the same price. I mean, everybody charges the same price for Latrax parts, and they're cheap and easy and quick to get. So yeah, if you want to go hobby grade RC for your child for Christmas this year, and they're not already into RCs and have biases or preferences, let's go with preferences instead of biases. Bias has an ugly connotation right now. But if your child has preferences for drifting or crawling or whatever, then by all means go that direction. But if they're just like, hey, RC cars are cool, Latrax is the way to go. Just pick a Rally, a Pre-Runner, or the monster truck Teton. Just whatever you think your kid will like the best, pick that one. But yeah, Latrax is my recommendation. There'll probably be some experts in the comments that disagree wholeheartedly, but that's cool. Just a little, give me your recommendation. I may say, oh yeah, I missed that one. That's a heck of a good idea. I recommend that just as strongly. But because of parts availability and ease of repair and availability of the cars themselves, Latrax. Latrax for Christmas. Santa Claus ought to bring a jillion of them this year. Alright guys, this is my red Latrax Pre-Runner, and this is my recommendation for what to get a child for Christmas if you can afford to. I mean, if it's within your budget, this is my recommendation, which is anything Latrax. These are baby Traxxas cars, big company, excellent parts availability. Even the people that hate them have got to admit that parts availability for Traxxas is second to none. The servo's not bad, And here's how they go. You're not going to get that level of performance from a discount store RC. It's just not going to happen. All right. So now you've seen my recommendations for parents choosing an RC car for their kid for Christmas. Now it's time to talk about the prize for my giveaway. It's nothing huge, but I think it's pretty cool. It is this right here, and the quality of some of the components may be a bit dubious. I did order this from Temu, but I'm pretty impressed with what I got actually looking at it. It includes the components in this on this side of the bag. When assembled, will make a stand just exactly like this one. It's adjustable height. It's got holes here that'll hold up to 4 shocks while you rebuild them, which is really handy. All right, it's got a magnetic strip here that'll hold your screws, and a scale over here where you can measure them. And this one is just exactly the same, but it's included. There's also what looks to be a pretty good screw kit and spare parts kit. It even has some shock O-rings, some body clips, a whole bunch of screws, nuts. Looks like countersunk and button head. It's a pretty good little screw kit. There's a wrench hiding here that's for links, a spare wheel wrench. Then over here is a handle, and it's got a full set of hex drivers and nut drivers, a magnetizer which might come in handy. I'm not certain about this tool. I've never used one quite like it before, but it may be just the ticket for your RC. Anyway, if you already have this stuff, like I think a lot of people on here would, I'd still like for you to win it and give it to a newbie. Just make a gift to a kid that's in your RC club, or throw it in your car, and next time you're at the hobby shop and a kid is walking out with his first RC car, say, hey kid, this is something that will help you and help people grow in the hobby. Or if you're new to the hobby, this will get you a lot further down the line, especially the screw kit. That's just stinking awesome that it's in there. Anyway, the way we're going to handle the giveaway is I need you to comment. And since we're celebrating 100 subscribers, the comment needs to include the word "100." H-U-N-N-E-R-D. Spelling matters. Anyway, from all the comments in there, we'll make a list. I'll use a random number generator and put it on an iPad right here on the table so you can see which one it selects. And then we'll go down the list and pick out, if it matches, I'll name you as the winner, put it up on the community, and of course it'll be in a video, and then just have you send me an email and we'll arrange me getting it shipped to you. Anyway, I'm excited about doing that. If there's a reason you don't want to have an account with YouTube, which is required to send me a comment, not judging, not picking, but you can send me an email at rcrestomod@gmail.com. I'll have the address on the bottom of the screen here. You can send me an email there in lieu of sending a comment, and I'll get you entered just the same. So nobody's really required to do anything. You will need a computer, but you kind of need that to watch the videos anyway. Anyway, I'm excited about 100 subscribers. We've got, I think this is my 40th video. So we'll do some sort of celebration at episode 50. Anyway, lots of exciting things happening here, and That's all because of you guys watching. You've kept me going. And we're going to be doing some really cool stuff coming up in the near future. And you'll see it all on RC Restomod.